Hey guys, it's Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at a little bit of, let's look up some personnel with the NFL and with the XFL today. Now, I've been kind of seeing some things going around. Now, it has been really quiet on the XFL front, and what Oliver Luck said that we should be hearing something about these Tier 1 quarterbacks, and we really haven't. So it's Thursday night. We haven't heard anything about any more signings other than the Landry Jones one we heard of a couple weeks ago and that we would be hearing more about, but we haven't heard anything, and we're 2 weeks away from the draft. And so we started getting some of the speculation, and you start hearing some of the things going around that, maybe the NFL is hoarding talent. So I started to do a little bit of research. I started looking into that, and I don't know if I would give a whole lot of credence to that the NFL is just signing players to practice squads to keep them from the XFL. I don't see a lot of, that's really saying that. And I really haven't seen a whole lot that there's a lot more players signed than what there are right now. Than there have been in the past. What I'm kind of just seeing is that there have been some significant injuries in the league, and teams are signing players accordingly. And, based upon that, one of the prime ones is Drew Brees goes down, and what do the Saints do? They go out there and automatically sign JT Barrett. Why? Because JT knows their system. They sign him to the practice squad, and so that if they need him, they can bring him up if they're having issues with Teddy Bridgewater, or if Hill isn't working out. They've got a guy who knows their system, who they trust, they can rely on to come in there if they need to and service something or be the backup for them, and help to run practice and know what they're doing. So I see a lot of that out there. I'm not seeing this whole thing of that, they're just paying more so that guys aren't going into the XFL. No, maybe they are doing some of that. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily put them past that. But they almost have this take of, whereas with Vince McMahon, his take is that, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to buy everything out so that my competition, I'm just going to overspend because I know they can't spend. That's not really what I'm seeing with the NFL. The NFL is just kind of like competition just doesn't exist. That, they've been moot on the whole thing, just kind of doing their own thing, not even paying attention to the XFL and what they're doing. They're just kind of going out. The teams, they need guys, they're going out and getting guys. And so this whole thing of hoarding players, I'm just not really seeing it reflecting in the signings that I'm seeing, and I'm not really seeing it reflecting in like that there's any new trends that are happening than anything that we've seen before. So when I'm looking at this, I'm just kind of like, yes, they are hiring up, they're signing and hiring guys that they haven't really this time, but this is really kind of the first time. I mean, it's a rarity when one of the big quarterbacks goes down, but two of them in the same season in the same week is kind of crazy. And the other thing too is like across the league, the quarterback play, it's been okay, but it hasn't been great. I mean, you've got kind of these guys that are starting to excel and succeed, and then you got other guys that are just not doing well at all. And so a lot of times it's kind of been whereas you've just kind of had parity in the league, and then you've had the standout quarterbacks, whereas now we're starting to see, kind of bad quarterback play, okay quarterback play, and really good quarterback play. And so there hasn't really been that over the years, and I think a lot of that has to do with just the development of just kind of the offenses and how the offenses are changing, and we're really starting to see a shift in how the offenses are ran and kind of an evolution in some of our offensive in the NFL, and they're starting to change, which is starting to change kind of the players that they have, and so you're starting to see a different type of quarterback in there, and so things are shifting and moving and changing in the league, and I think that kind of change you're starting to see with some of the hirings and and some of the signings of the personnel and that. So I don't really think that it's necessarily this talent hoarding as it is that, they're trying to kind of secure themselves for the future and that. But again, that's just what I think. That's just my thoughts. That's what I see. Question is what do you think? What have you been seeing? Are there any things that I'm missing? I mean, have you kind of seen these trends that I'm not picking up on? I'd love to hear it down in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you about it, because that's the fun part about it is discussing things back and forth and really having some dialogue with it. So I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. And please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that with I need all the help that I can get. So anytime you can like and subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. All right, well, I know that you guys are busy and I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good night. Bye.